Okay, some other treatments. Low thyroid, if it's low. I think the only thyroid test, or the best thyroid test, is a free T3. The T3 is the active hormone. The T4 is not active. It's about a fourth to a tenth as active in the body. So the TSH is merely part of the thermostat. We don't know what the T3 is if all you're getting is a TSH, which is what allopathic medicine does, is just get a TSH and say, oh, you're normal, oh, too high, oh, too low, and make the adjustments, having no idea what the active hormone level is doing. So the free T3 is really the only one, and I like it in the mid-range, whatever the mid-range of that laboratory is. If it's in the lower third, I consider it low thyroid. If the thyroid is low, it's going to be very difficult to lose weight or to have the metabolism that we need. Low serotonin, we already talked about that. We can supply the precursors for serotonin. So the nice thing about knowing whether you have a low serotonin, and there is a urine test to do that, then we can supply tryptophan or 5-hydroxytryptophan, which is precursor for serotonin, and those levels will come up. Dopamine has a lot to do with drive and motivation. If our drive and motivation is in the gutter, it's really hard to lose weight. No drive, no motivation. Insulin resistance, we talked about that a little bit. Highly inflammatory. Too much sugar, too much carbohydrates for long term. Insulin goes up, sugar goes up. We've got to get rid of that. The basic treatment for that is to lower the carbohydrate intake, 60 to 100 grams. And then there are some other things that improve the sensitivity. Chromium is used up when sugar is in the body, and so it tends to be low. You have to have good chromium levels, vanadium. DHEA and testosterone are part of the insulin resistance pathway. Other things, sleep at least 6.5 hours a night. We ignore sleep. If you're not getting good sleep at night, you're going to have a hard time losing weight. If you're not healthy, you're going to have a hard time losing weight. Hard time to get healthy. Sleep is very important. Low hormones, DHEA, testosterone, maybe the estrogens. That perimenopause, menopausal time is real frustrating for a lot of people. Now here might be key number 5 in my list of 3 easy things to do. And that would be to take a glass of water and 5 grams of fiber before every meal. Now, how hard is that? That can come as capsules. You can get Metamucil. You can get, there's a lot of fiber things out there, fiber bars. Just read the labels, make sure they're healthy. Fiber and glass of water. Improve the metabolic rate. Green tea, EGCG is part of the green tea. It is actually a metabolic stimulant. I don't think any of these things are really needed if we do the other things we're talking about. But there are some herbal things that might add to what we're doing. We can inhibit some of the enzymes naturally, some other polyphenols, some other herbs that actually assist in a little bit with the inhibiting the fat absorption, promoting fat burning. Of course, if medications are causing the problem, then we've got to get off the medications. Or it may be very difficult to lose the weight. And there are different medications, and most of the things that we do is trying to get off of medications and using alternative options that may work as well as anything. Part of the problem with medications is they're all toxic. The liver has to metabolize them. The body has to somehow get rid of them. There are some toxic metabolites. Some of those metabolites get stuck in tissue. That tissue is going to be called fat tissue. And so the toxins of the body are held within the fat tissue. I have used human chorionic gonadotropin a few times in a few people. It is successful. The diet that was put together by Dr. Simone some probably 50 years ago, when he used human chorionic gonadotropin as an appetite suppressant. The diet is a 400-calorie diet. Now, most of us have a hard time sticking to a 1,000-calorie diet or even a 1,500-calorie diet. The only way anybody is going to stick to a 400-calorie diet is if their appetite is suppressed. And that's what HCG does. But in the people, but just HCG is not going to work for some reason. So I have used human chorionic gonadotropin in half a dozen people, and they've all had good success, and most of them have even kept the weight off. But it really is, you've got to commit yourselves to a long-term program that's going to work. And the problem with the diets of today is they're hard to be on, or they're too complicated, and within 3 to 6 months, come off the diet, fall back into old patterns, and we have the yo-yo effect. The problem with the yo-yo effect isn't that we're yo-yoing, it's that we're getting the weight down, and the yo-yo up is 2 or 3 pounds higher than it was before we started the first diet. And so now we're 2 or 3 pounds even worse off than we were before, and so we diet again, find a new diet because the last one didn't work, and lose the weight. It's too complicated, it's too hard, and we get off the diet, and now we're 2 or 3 pounds more, and now we're 6 pounds more, 4 to 6 pounds more than when we started, and we're inching up with every single diet. The diet that we've got to get into is a diet that we can all be on. Vegetables. We've got to get into the vegetables. We've got to get into taking healthy fats with each meal so that we're not hungry 3 or 4 hours later. We need a little bit of protein. We need whole grains, but not a lot of it because the carbs are there. And never give up. Never give up.